Hello, everyone. Welcome once again to Tom's Corner, where you can hear the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth. So help me God. Is the love of money a silent killer? Pause there for a moment and let that sink in. Are you ready? Many people today do not think for themselves, and we seem to follow after someone else. I believe we put too much trust in man, whether it is in our leadership or our pastors in churches or our so-called doctors and lawyers. And I'm not saying all are corrupt. I'm not saying that. But most of them are. Did you know that lawyers can sell you out in a litigation case? Sure they can. So can doctors. Also, let us not forget those who represent us at the Capitol. Why do they do this? Why? Look even at the judges. Okay? Everyone needs money to survive. It is when you start to love money. That is when you begin to fall. It is not money that is evil. Money's not evil. It is the love of money that is evil. It is the root, now listen very carefully, it is the root of all evil. And here it's specifying the similarities of a root off of a tree. What does a root off a tree do? It goes down into the earth and anchors the tree. When it anchors the tree, the wind blows 50, 60 miles an hour, and that tree is held on by that root. This is the way some people's lives are. They let money take over their lives. After a while, they can't see anything else. All they want to do, get more money. Now, it is the number one silent killer all over the world. It's not heart attacks. It's not cancer. It's not COVID. It's not the flu. It's not sugar diabetes. It's not car crashes. It's not war. It is the number one silent killer all over the world. And here's the question. Why? Because we make it our God. Do you want me to prove it? Okay, let's go. There was a young man that Jesus wanted him to follow him. The young man couldn't let go of his wealth. This grieved the Lord, and it also grieved the young man because he had much. He had a lot of money. Many people will go to hell. Now listen to this. Many people will go to hell because of this. Now I am now talking about church people going to hell who present themselves as godly people. Now, do you put God first in your life above your stocks and bonds and savings accounts? I would hate to lose my soul over money. It is good to put back money for a rainy day. And I'm not against that. I'm not against that. I think it's beautiful. If you can save money, that's so beautiful. You want to buy a home, save money, that's beautiful. But you know what I'm talking about. You don't have to wash up money. You don't have to trust in money before God. That's what I'm talking about. Now, Place God first, and He will richly reward you. God does not play second fiddle. Amen to that. He will not play second fiddle to you or me. I knew a man once that had 5 banking accounts. Now, if you knew him, you would never believe what I just told you. I had a neighbor in Cleveland. He lived in a small 2-story house. No curtains on the windows, just newspapers. I believe his name was John. He had no friends. Most people who have a lot of money don't have friends because they think it will cost them something, and they are unwilling to pay. Friendship does cost something, and they are not willing to pay that price. John, he was one of those people. On trash days, every week, John would go up and down the streets with his shopping cart, dressed in an old wool overcoat, and I think even summer too, down to his knees. Now, when he came home later that day, he had his cart. The cart would be full of old newspapers. And he usually would stack them around his porch in a neat manner, but they still were newspapers. And I mean, layer upon layer upon layer. And later on would take him into his house. I would hate to go into his house. I figure you couldn't walk in it for the fact that he saved newspapers. What he did with them, I don't know. I mean, back in the day, you could sell paper. Maybe he hoarded it up and had somebody come and get it and take it, make a few dollars off of it. I don't know. Now, I never would see him outside except on trash day. But I did see that from time to time. Now, listen very carefully. Men in real fancy suits would come to his house and they would knock on his door, 2 and 3 at a time. Later on, I found out that they were lawyers who represented John. Get this, lawyers who represented him concerning his many properties. And I had found out that he owned many properties, and some of them were like layer upon layer condominiums and so forth and so on in Cleveland. John apparently was a very rich man, but you would never know it. You would never know it. Now I'm going to tell you a story here. Another story. Now this is truth, what I just told you. Now I'm going to tell you another story that is absolutely true. I had an uncle who I believe never really worked in his life. Except for a short time on the state road. All right, now I remember him standing by the road. This is way back when. And that's when that they would put the workers out beside the road, and on the side of the bank, they had mowing size. You know what I'm talking about. Let the blade and so forth, and you'd cut the weeds and stubbles and grass, okay? But every time I went by, because I used to come from Cleveland down here, every time for months and months, I would off and on come by, and during the period of time that they actually had to get out and mow the side of the banks and up on the hill a little, I would find my uncle standing there by the road. And he would be leaning on the side. They never did see him swing it. But he would be standing there by the road. Well, I would go visit some of my relatives farther down the road. Spend hours with them, finally turn around and come back. When I came back, guess what? He was still in the same spot, leaning on one side. Now, he finally got on SSI. Now, most of you know what SSI is. It's a check that you can get if you've never really worked in your life or did enough work in your life or had a very, very bad illness you couldn't work in your life, okay? That's basically what it is. Now, well, he went on because he said he had a bad back. This is how he got out. He got out on a bad back. Yet, now I'm going to tell you this story. I know this for a fact. Yet he could climb up the side of the hill, hundreds of feet, straight up. Oh, and also he loved to camp and fish. Loved it. He had one of the best suntans I've ever seen anybody have. And he just loved that fishing, being out there and everything like that. Now, everyone felt sorry for my uncle because he lived in an old rundown house on post. The only running water ran in the house was from a water runoff from a stream in behind the house. Now, this ran all the time into the sink that someone gave him. And, oh, by the way, my cousin, which lived next door, he's the one that put all this in for him. In other words, dammed the little creek up coming off the hill. He ran a black line down and just kind of laid it down. But as long as you water run off the stream, even in the winter, it wouldn't freeze. Went into the sink, out of the sink. Where it went from there, I don't know. And my uncle was like, okay, now here, get this. All right, by the way, now here. My uncle was like his daddy. One light bulb. Did you hear what I said? Kept one light bulb in the house. I don't know, I think it was about a 20-watt light bulb. A small coal stove, one small radio, and a wood-burning cook stove. And one outhouse and path to it, okay? One outhouse. Now, winter coal, now listen to this part here. This outhouse had a lot of old magazines in it, stacked in it. He got them, I don't know where, which actually no one read. You know what I'm talking about. Tar paper on the outside of the house. Winter coal would come when a coal truck would wreck. And coal would spill beside the road. And I would tell my father that his brother would probably have at least $60,000+ in the bank, which my father shook his head. There ain't no way. He does not have that money. He's a poor man, very poor. Okay? So I proved it to him. Howard took in each month his SSI check. But you never did see him basically spend any money. You never saw the money going out, flowing out. He might have bought, like his daddy did, once a month he would get a sack of flour, get a bag of beans, and lived a very poor, simple life. It doesn't mean he had to, but that's the way he wanted to live. Well, now, he played on others, very carefully, how poor he was, and they would help him out. They would he would tell how he wished he could get some of that coal that the truck wrecked there by the road, and his neighbors and so forth would go down, shovel it, and bring it for him and put it out, okay? He had a son, and his son seemed to copy the same ritual that Daddy did, and Daddy did his daddy. My father was staying over there for some time, and he told Howard's son, go out there and pull that lawnmower, mow that yard. Well, Howard's son did this. Now watch it. If I can imitate him. He'd go, I don't want to. That was it, okay? Seemed to flow in a family. Okay, now, he did this all his life. He did. He did this all his life. Now, are you ready for the proof? You ready for the real proof? Stay with me. I have a story to tell. He came to see me one time. He had gotten a little older, and I had gotten social security disability, and they owed me money, pretty good amount of money, because I had fought them for years. Now I had back surgery and everything, and I was unable to move, and I even tried to get a job back in the mines where I was hurt, and they refused to take me as a disabled individual. And more or less, they looked at me and told me, says, "Hey, you've been on Social Security disability. We'll never take you back." That was the end of that. Okay, now, so my uncle came to see me. And I was trying to, in essence, I couldn't do anything, so I had friends, or well, not friends, but people that I knew that I paid money to help do some work here to make the house look better. Well, he must have thought I had money because of the construction work being done. Now remember, when all your money is going out, which my money was, you don't have any money. You look at people that buy big fancy new cars, buy a big fancy home. These people owe the world, man. Hey, it's ridiculous. They live basically from 1 week to 1 week. If they had no job and it didn't last 3 weeks, they'd almost have to file bankruptcy. Now, my uncle, when he came to see me, he went into his vehicle that he had, simple vehicle, I think the same truck that he had for like 20 years. But he pulled out a case that was beautiful, a guitar case. And he opened it up. Inside the case was a brand spanking new Martin guitar. This guitar was probably worth over $2,500. Easy. Easy. You don't get a guitar like that for $100, $200, $500, $1,000. That doesn't work that way. And he showed me the guitar. You know what he said? He said, "I bought it from the interest money from my savings." When I told my father that, he just shook his head. He said, it was hard for him to accept the fact that over the years, my uncle had been saving his money, not spending basically very little to no money at all. Now here, I'm trying to make a point. Do we love money more than we love God? Is hoarding money really worth losing your soul? Did you know one sickness, just one, can take all the money that you ever saved? And some of you essentially that I'm talking to might be going through that now. You're watching your money leave you, and it took you years and years and years to acquire that money. Think about it. Okay. And when you're old, I want you to listen to this very carefully. And when you are old, they put you in a home. And I'm talking now about your beautiful children who love you. They're the ones that's going to put you in a home. 99.5% of the things go on when you go on, you're kicked to the curb, and the only thing the children want is what you've got. Now, after a while, they take your home and your money for your care. I'm talking about the so-called places that your children put you in. And at first, it looks real good. All the acreage is perfect. All the atmosphere is right. They feed you such good meals. But I'm going to tell you something. You're not going to be there that long. Your money's going to evaporate because these people that are caring for you, you have to forfeit your home to be able to live like that. And I'll tell you what, when that money's gone, guess what? You're gone with it, you know? Think about that. And you say, oh, no, they don't. Yes, they do. Now, and when that dissolves away, you're thrown in some rat-infested place ran by the state. And any actual cash has already been spent by your loving children. Truth. Think about it. Jesus didn't even have money to pay his own taxes. Oh, what are you saying here? He didn't have any money. He didn't have any money. And Jesus said, told his disciple, I want you to go and fish. And he said this to one of his disciples that went to fish. And inside that fish, there he could find a gold coin. Take it and pay the taxes. Think about it. Had to fish, get the gold coin because he didn't have money. Did he run around crying about it? No, no. He lived by faith, just like we're supposed to live by faith. If he saved money, great. But you know what I'm talking about here. You know exactly what I'm talking about. Some people need help. You help them because you're a good Christian. You give them $5, $10. But if you find that somebody comes in actually really needs help, same thing, $5 or $10. But to your buddies, listen to this, to your buddies in the church, you'll give them $300, $400, $500, $1,000. But to an individual that you actually know in a neighborhood that you're not associated with, and he's not your friend, you give him the $5, you give him the $10, pat him on the head, and tell him God bless him, send him on his way. Okay? That seems right to me. Does it you? No, it's not right. But you do it anyhow. Okay. Now come on, people. Don't put your trust in money or your family. Don't do that. Jesus said, lay your treasures in heaven. And this is the question. This is the end of the story. Do you? Do you? Do you? Or are you trusting in self and you feel the warmth of your money and you actually rub the little book and you know each week you put so much money in and it just thrills you to be able to hold it in your hand and think, that's my money, that's my money. Not your money. It's God's anyhow. God bless. I'll see you in the next trip.